r/ask Reddit. Contrary to popular belief, what's not a bad thing? Giving up. Sometimes giving up is the best thing you can do. Gotta know when to hold M and when to fold M. Know when to walk away, know when to run. Not knowing something, it's not shameful to admit it. Somebody who changes their beliefs. Similarly, changing your mind opinion about something, political or otherwise. Even if you don't entirely change your opinion, it's healthy to frequently challenge your viewpoints. Listening to other perspectives is good, too. Even if they don't contradict your opinion, they can make you consider something you hadn't before. Saying no when someone asks you to do something that they're entirely capable of doing. Ugh. My neighbor just called me to come fix her guest bed. She has a house full of relatives from California and I really don't feel like exposing myself to whatever might be in that house. Plus, why can't one of them fix the damn bed? I said I was busy but I might be able to do it later. I'm on the fence about this. Follow up. Thanks for all the comments. I ended up telling my neighbor that I wasn't feeling too great and that I'd hate to bring something over to her and her guests. I asked for more information about the bed. It is apparently sagging in the middle. I told her to get her nephew to put a block of some kind underneath the bed and to let me know if that doesn't fix the problem. Failure. Asking for help. Political leaders admitting they're wrong and doing a U-turn. I agree. Though it seems that political leaders that admit a wrong or change position tend not to be political leaders for long. Because they lose party support and political cachet. Not being super ambitious about your work career. Yep, I'm happy just being a cog in the machinery. I earn a decent wage that affords me the things I need and enjoy in life. And I'm in a good rut in my daily routine. No need to exert a lot of energy to change that. Yep, man. It doesn't mean I am lazy or anything. I am just not super passionate about every single aspect of my job. It's my hobbies that fulfill me, not my job. Defending yourself against a customer who is extremely rude. I was at a grocery store during our first lockdown and some dude was screaming at the staff because he couldn't use cash in the non-cash line. They were all marked which were cash and which weren't. I cannot stand that shit, so I walked over and said something like, I know they can't tell you this but I can. You're a ducking a-hole and because you're too stupid to understand rules you've decided to take it out on them. Go duck yourself. It took his anger away from them for a second but I'm a pretty big guy so he wasn't too interested in going face to face with me. Being basic in the sense that you have likes and hobbies similar to a group of people. So true. I feel even in the sense of being a basic beach with Starbucks and skinny jeans and Uggs. Just because it's a popular thing and is comfortable doesn't mean it's bad. Disliking your family. If your family always have been a bunch of a-holes to you, what is the sense of even having respect for them? This one hits me for max damage. Glad to hear I'm not alone. Me 3. Toxic is toxic and I'm not having it. Message. That's it. Uncle Roger has started popularizing it. Disappointing your parents or friends by your life decisions. Usually, they come around in time when they see what you chose is what makes you happy and that is what they really wanted in the end anyway. It can be an uncomfortable wait until that time comes, but it is shorter and feels better than a lifetime of regret. Or not. Some people are narcissistic pieces of shit who will never forgive you for choosing the wrong option. I've heard a bunch of people spouting off recycling isn't worth it. It is even worse for the environment than just throwing it away. This is case of hearing something correct and just blanket applying it to everything. There are certain things that are undeniably better to recycle, specifically metals. And for glass and paper there are ways to make it environmentally positive. Plastics are the hardest due to contamination, but we can make it better as well as reduce single-use plastics. Yes, corporations tricked us into believing recycling was the key to fixing the environment, but that doesn't mean that recycling can't be useful. Being alone. It's far less stressful than having other people around. I wish I was like this, but for me being alone for too long leads me to feeling lonely, depressed and unfulfilled. Anything in excess is detrimental. You have to find a personal balance. Gaming for a couple. Edit. Few hours straight. If you enjoy doing it and don't neglect your life, there really is no difference to binge watching something or reading a book. I never realized how cool video games are until I started dating my BF. He mostly plays story-driven games and they're really fun to watch. They're like interactive movies. Curious children. That's like the best thing for a child to be because they want to learn the facts and form their own opinions. But parents act as if they are like inappropriate or annoying. Curiosity in general, not just in children, is looked down upon, I think. Breaking tradition. It's important to question why we do things and not just go along with it because it's been like that for years. Peer pressure from dead people. Being a virgin. Just because nobody has shoved themselves inside you or you haven't shoved yourself inside someone else doesn't mean you're worth any less as a person. TBH, only toxic people make losing virginity as something important. Using a credit card. If you're sensible and ensure it's paid off at the end of every month. There are many perks, cashback, air miles etc. I'll take things I didn't want to learn or accept until I was 30 for $500. Alex. Small boobs or medium boobs. Literally no boobs are bad. Are you ashamed of your small boobs? Don't be. Are you a man ashamed of his man boobs? Don't be. Are you ashamed of someone else's boobs? Knock it off. Boobs are great. Boobs make the world go round. Give this man boobs. Not being into social media doesn't mean you are behind the times. It's a choice. Something about people not knowing everything about me and what I'm doing in my life is very peaceful to me. Being single. And being okay with being single and not constantly looking for a relationship. GMO and food. Without GMOs, corn wouldn't be edible. Watermelons would have way less flesh. Bananas would be vastly different if you hate artificial banana flavor. You'd hate OG bananas. Certain crops would yield far less and would much more susceptible to disease. Livestock would be far more expensive and less available. This could actually be a really good thing in reality, but at the time meat being readily available was a huge game changer. Not wanting to have kids. Introducing an entire human life into the world where it heavily depends on you physically, emotionally, and financially for over a decade is a huge deal that people should absolutely put a lot of thought into. Yet many people do it simply because that's just what you do and babies are cute. And then they're constantly complaining about how it's suddenly hard being a parent. Parenthood isn't for everyone. It's a huge decision. People should treat it as such instead of acting like it's a trend. I wish society would quit looking down on those who choose to live a more quiet and stable life instead. According to someone close to me, not having an opinion about something important to them is being rude and inconsiderate. I just think that I don't care about what they care about. It isn't important or offensive to me, so I don't care about it one bit. I'm not sure how to categorize this, but this bugs me about people. My husband and I have talked about this several times. We like to get each other's opinions on things and sometimes we don't have one because the topic or subject doesn't have any weight, impact, bearing or whatever on the comfort or discomfort or morals of our life. It's like selecting a bottle of water. Take 2 bottles. Same bottle type. Same amount of water. Same price. No difference in taste. Does it really matter which one you get? Using violence to defend yourself or others. It's sad that it comes to that, but if someone is hell-bent on causing you harm and your only choice is to use violence to stop them, it's not bad. It's sad that if you get into a fight at any school and you defend yourself, you also get in trouble. Fat in food. Saturated fat is very bad for you, but unsaturated fat is good and you need it in your diet. Crying. Holding it can cause way more harm than do it. Getting a full night's sleep every night and also having a good work-life balance. The two thing not being entirely unconnected. Receiving a very small tax return. It means you estimated your deductions correctly and you didn't overpay on your taxes. Settling. I put in quotes because it has such a negative connotation. But I went through a very rough divorce and it took me a bit to find someone who felt like they could be a life partner again. Because he is jobless and has no higher education degrees. Though, friends have accused me of settling for him. Well, yeah, I am. I'm settling for contentment and happiness. Why is that bad? Someone else might make you happier. Fulfill your needs better, maybe. But like, I'm happy where I'm at. Why would I tear all that up because something could be of not liking animals, and this is coming from an animal lover. Some people just don't like them for various reasons, and so long as they don't mistreat them, they aren't monsters. Crying. I'm a 6 feet 3 inches 230 pounds construction worker and I cry a couple times a year. There's nothing wrong with letting your emotions out. Death isn't always a bad thing. There's a lot of people who suffer with degenerative illnesses or are in extreme pain every day of their lives. I saw this happen to my granddad after he had a brain tumor. By the end it was for the best that he passed away. Obviously untimely deaths are sad, but sometimes you need to accept that being alive and truly living are two different things. Not spending the holidays with your family. It's so much less stressful. Choosing an unmarried unpartnered life. I truly believe that being in a long-term relationship where you have to live together for life just isn't for everybody. For some, it's better to have a series of long relationships or shorter ones. There are people who want to live together, and some who don't. A life without romance and or sex is just fine for some people. 2. It's true that life alone can be harder, and the way the world is made up, it's mostly so two people can share the load. So you need to be creative or just live with it. As to having children, there are so many ways to be a parent these days. Just being in a single 2-parent unit isn't the only option anymore. You can have a kid on your own, or with other people but not be married to them or even live with them. And you don't have to have 1 or 2 parent families. For some, opting out of the lifelong love roommate path will mean giving up the joy of children and grandchildren. But if they are willing to give that up for the life that fits them better, they shouldn't be shamed for it or feel they need to turn into someone who is anti-child. I'd love to have had children, but it just didn't fit into my lifestyle should be just as acceptable an answer as I would have loved to have had a jet-setting career, but I chose to focus on having a family instead. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.